You were actually able to kill him. Kakarot, he's finally gone!
Not exactly, you bastards!
You're still alive? I'd be disappointed otherwise, but I am quite sure. Huh, you might want to get your eyes checked, pal, because I think you... Vegeta!
Suddenly, turning to his partner to maybe get a laugh or two, he sees that Vegeta is on the ground, nearly dead. A massive hole in the center of his chest that caves through his entire backside.
Sorry, Prince, but I wasn't going to let you two get the last laugh. He didn't deserve this. Listen carefully, you big dumb oaf. I'm gonna make you pay!
But in Kakarot's place appears a white figure, before then sparking out to reveal a brand new transformation. Kakarot's hair is elongated and his power has risen many times over.
I'm the legendary Super Saiyan. The only debts I pay are in blood.
Well then, prepare to bleed!
Their strength seemingly has no limits. The two monsters begin to clash their auras. Although their power seems even, it's very clear that Kakarot's is increasing while Frieza's is staying stagnant. The Saiyans have no limits, although the same is not true for Frost Demons. Even though they can exceed their limits many times over, that's not in battle, that's in training. So Kakarot has a major advantage here. He continues to grow stronger and stronger before grabbing Frieza by the neck and throwing him down to the planet, creating a massive crater that nearly reaches the planet's core. Frieza debates destroying the planet, that way he can escape alive, and hopefully wish back all of the other Saiyans later, but Kakarot beats him to it, creating a giant beam in his hands before launching it down at Frieza, as well as the entire world. Frieza quickly remembers the limits of the Dragon Balls and decides he's not going to put an entire world's population at risk just to win the fight, so he pushes back against the blast. It might be a fruitless effort, but he has to try. With Kakarot fueling it from the other end though, it seems hopeless. That is until Kakarot stops. Frieza is able to push the beam away and send it into deep space. He looks around and sees Kakarot in a chokehold. For a moment he believes Vegeta has come back from the dead, although it's not him. Instead it's somebody that looks eerily similar to Kakarot himself.
I thought you would usher in a new era for the Saiyans, although you only brought them to their knees. I'm sorry, son, but I can't let this continue any longer. Frieza, now!
On it! Ka-me-ha-me-ha!
You were a disappointment, father. I'm still standing. Wait, where's my arm? My arm!
In the next realm. But don't worry, you won't be separated for long. Ha!
Frieza wakes up in a bed in what feels like only a couple of hours later.
Where am I? Are the Saiyans safe? Is Vegeta alive?
Whoa, calm down, buddy. I'll answer all of your questions, but you're in pretty rough shape. Although, before we get to talking, what's your name?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, I forgot my manners. My name is Frieza. I'm a warrior raised on Earth. Who are you?
My name is Borgos. I fought alongside the man you killed earlier, when you were getting rid of his son.
Well, see, that was a terrible misunderstanding, cause,
Hey, not upset. That monster killed almost the rest of my team. Save his father and, well, me, of course. But hey, I'm not mad. You saved my life, and the rest of the planet, too.
Frieza decides not to bring up the part where he almost destroyed the planet to save his own skin, but admittedly he was going to bring them back. He killed one of my friends too, but I can bring him back. I can bring them all back. We have Dragon Balls on my home planet, and I can restore all of their lives.
Wait, Borgos' friends, too?
especially your friends, and Vegeta's father and mother.
Then let's not waste any more time. Bardock will be so happy.
Oh yes, speaking of that guy, how did you know my name?
Thank God, it actually worked. You're back. We've been in a real crap show ever since you left.
What do you mean? What happened? I was only gone a couple of days.
The Red Ribbon Army launched a full-out assault on the Earth. They have androids even more powerful than you and me.
And Kami jumps in to correct a particular statement Frieza made.
Young one, you've been gone for a year.
That's impossible. I went to Planet Vegeta and I beat Kakarot. I might have taken a little nap, but there's no way that took a year.
I'm sorry, but I don't think that was a nap. Either way, we have more pressing matters to deal with now.
Okay, I'll have the narrator fill me in.
During Frieza's battle with Kakarot, he expended far more energy than he ever could have expected, and when landing his finishing blow, piercing Kakarot's chest with his fist, I know, gruesome image, but still, Frieza used the last little bit of power he had left, and with no energy left, he fell to the ground. To keep himself alive, his body shut down, conserving what little stamina he had left to keep himself alive. Then Borgos came out of the hole he was hiding in to see what was going on exactly. Everybody was moving far too fast for him to register practically anything of what was going on. He sees the dead body of his corrupt king, as well as the lifeless body of Frieza, the guy who most likely took him out. So he decided to nurse the Frost Demon back to health. It's the least he can do to repay the debt the Saiyans now owe him. Although back on Earth, everything was going to hell. The Red Ribbon Army came out of hiding as they realized the most powerful warriors on Earth currently were not, well, on Earth. At first, they wanted to use the Dragon Balls to conquer the world easy peasy, although that wasn't going to happen. Piccolo was able to step in and prevent them from getting too far. That was until Dr. Gero started working on his ultimate creations. He began working on cybernetic humans. Although they were terribly weak in comparison to Piccolo, that was until Gero stumbled upon footage of Frieza fighting, as well as logs of how powerful he truly was. The Frost Demon's power was beyond comprehension, although Gero was far smarter than the Frieza Force techs in the original, and thus was able to make some pretty advanced scouters, capable of sensing Frieza's overall power and being able to replicate that in android form. Gero is a genius. If given the opportunity, he could have overcame the Super Saiyan wall, and most likely even surpassed the gods, although he had limited information on how strong the fighters were, which is why he hit a roadblock, and the androids were only as powerful as they were. They really had no limits. But rather than making androids 16, 17, 18, and so on, Gero instead advanced his generals, Commander Red, Commander Blue, Commander Black, and all the rest. Although that last one stood out amongst the rest, as he was by far the strongest. He was not only the last person Gero worked on and therefore had the most advanced tech, but he was also incredibly intelligent in his own right. And after realizing that the leader of the Red Ribbon Army, Commander Red, didn't have their best interest at heart, Commander Black decided to overthrow the leader of the Red Ribbon Army, transforming it into the aptly named Black Ribbon Army. But that doesn't have the same alluring alliteration that the Red Ribbon does, so he would rename the army entirely to the Black Badge Brigade. Truthfully though, it doesn't matter what they're called. Either way, this army would be the strongest thing on Earth, capable of even easily taking down Piccolo. Commander Blue on his own would nearly kill the Namekian, although Big Green would be able to make a hasty retreat back to Kami, who would heal him and instruct him to go into the Room of Spirit and Time for another couple years. The limit was removed long ago when Frieza suggested it, although it's benefiting Piccolo far more than it ever did the Frost Demon. Sure, now he was stronger, but he still couldn't combat the androids. It seemed no amount of training would be able to overcome this gap. Their power was artificial, it was nearly unstoppable, and there was no way to really overcome it with just basic ki training. Sure, he could try, but it would never really work, because as much as he increased his power, Gero would continue upgrading the androids. It seemed hopeless until Frieza arrived, and now with the aid of the Dragon Balls, he has. They could have opened a portal like with Vegeta, although Shinron has grown a lot since then, and thus was able to teleport Frieza here rather than needing his express consent. Sure, Frieza is still far more powerful than Shinron, although he wasn't using his full power when being wished to Earth, and thus the dragon was still able to forcibly teleport him here.
Well then, What are we waiting for? People are in danger, let's go!
Huh. Read my mind. Follow me, you can't sense their energy.
They fly over to a city that was currently being decimated. The massive drop in energy is what was able to direct Piccolo to wherever the androids were attacking. General Tao Pai Pai, who had the second best cybernetic enhancements, was currently holding a man by the throat up in the air.
Let him go, you monster!
Huh? I assure you, there's not much to drop. But I'll gladly accept some more fun. I hope you're more challenging than the last warrior who tried to face me.
The last person to underestimate me is currently... Well, I don't know, but I'm sure it's not good.
They then begin a battle, although it's surprisingly one-sided on Frieza's end, and he's not even using the golden form. Tao was supposed to be a warrior up to his caliber, although it seems that he's nowhere close.
Are you sure you want to keep this going? If we continue the way it is, you're gonna die.
If you're trying to intimidate me, it's not going to work. I'm the strongest warrior in the Black Badge Brigade.
Frieza then promptly and instantly powers up to his golden form, before flicking Tao on the forehead and sending him flying a couple of meters away before crashing into a building. Jiro would watch this all unfold while absolutely going bonkers in his lab. He had no idea this kind of power was even possible. A new transformation? How was he supposed to guess that? He created androids far more powerful than what his last reading of Frieza's power level was, and even now he should have been able to exceed Frieza's base power, but this whole golden form is just too much. Wanting to eliminate the threat before he gets any stronger, Jiro sends out every last one of his cyborgs, androids, and just men with guns. Anything that could even distract Frieza long enough for one of the heavy hitters to do as their name implies would be good with him, as long as Frieza is taken down now. Although even with hundreds of androids all coming at him that are comparable to Tao, he's still able to keep a major lead using his golden form. All of them would be taken down relatively easily, and as the numbers begin to dwindle down, none of them even stand a chance. Commander Black would try and intervene, although being a little bit stronger than somebody that Frieza practically no-diffed isn't going to get him very far. So, copying one of Piccolo's techniques, Frieza uses a Masenko, completely obliterating Commander Black. Then, with the help of Kami, Piccolo would find out where Dr. Jiro's lab is, stopping the mad scientist from creating any more artificial humans. His son would be investigated to see if he has any connections to the Mad Doctor, although it turns out Jiro's son was completely disconnected. Although he used to serve in the Black Badge Brigade back when it was the Red Ribbon Army, he's long since dropped out of the military, not really feeling like it anymore. He didn't like the way the army handled itself and the direction they were going. It was only going to get worse, so he decided to drop out and go into a different line of work, now being a zoologist and researching all of the birds. Everything might seem hunky-dory, but it's not. The Dragon Balls are still unavailable, as they were used to wish Frieza back to Earth, meaning that they can't be used again for another year, and Frieza's not going to wait that long to get his friends back. So he begins to look into other ways to obtain Dragon Balls, such as going to Namek, the home place of the, well, Namekians. It's where Kami and Piccolo can trace their origins back to, and should at least have one set of Dragon Balls, if not multiple. But not feeling like going on a solo adventure, Frieza decides to bring Piccolo and Bulma along with him. That way they can have some fun on the trip to Namek. It's a brand new adventure and a brand new hunt for the Dragon Balls.